What's up, everybody? It's Ant from Flashback Almanac. And as you guys, some of you may know, today is Super Mario Day. Definitely gonna watch the movie later. So this movie, in honor of course, Nintendo celebrating all things Mario today. It's it's totally 90s. Some people might say it's like not even a film. Some people might say, this is like the worst abominations ever come out of like video game history. I haven't heard one positive review about this movie, I don't think ever. But today I'm gonna give you a 180. I'm gonna throw you a curveball and say that I think that this movie is awesome. I think it's fucking awesome, and it deserves that F-bomb. And I'll tell you why. It's comforting. It's like comfort food. This movie is fucking mac and cheese. It is such a great reminder of like my childhood and what I loved as a kid. And even as when I watch it today, it's one of those films where it's so bad, it's enjoyable. It's charming in a way. It suffers from what a lot of these like terrible cult movies that people still watch. The acting is atrocious. It's so over the top. But there are things about it that I think overshadow that and make it worth watching, in my opinion. Some of the flaws, let's just point out, like the cast. You got a Puerto Rican playing Luigi. You got a British guy playing Mario. Then you got fucking Dennis Hopper playing King Koopa. I mean, that's all you got to say right there. I mean, that is like probably one of the greatest casting calls of all time. There are a lot of Easter eggs in this film I'm going to point out a little later that I think are pretty cool. And I didn't catch all of them, I got to admit, as a kid. I got most of them, but there are a few that are kind of like pretty, you won't really get until you're an adult. Just to give you a review, it's about, two plumbers living in Brooklyn at the time, and there's some sort of an archaeological dig going on, and they stumble across like dinosaur bones, and there's like a huge political thing, like the city wants to continue like a sewage line, and activists want to save the dinosaurs, whatever. Bottom line is somehow they end up being plumbers and all, they end up fixing a leak down in the dig site, and they end up finding like some sort of a teleport to a parallel dimension. They go there, and it's like, I guess when they go there, it's Mario World. It's like kind of run by dinosaurs, like half dinosaurs, half human. And first off, it looks nothing about this movie looks like the game, aside from maybe Mario wears red at one point and Luigi wears green, but that doesn't even come till the end of the friggin' movie. The thing about it is that all these little characters are there. You have the two comic reliefs who are, I think, Bowser's kids. It's like Spike and I think like Izzy or something like that, or Iggy or whatever. Yoshi makes an appearance, which is Yoshi's probably one of the coolest parts, because this movie has terrible CG, but Yoshi was like a puppet, so that was really cool. You got like the mushrooms. I mean, the fungus is friggin' everywhere. You got the Goombas, which, let's face it, I think that's an Italian sort of I wouldn't say it's a dig, but that's definitely like a racial thing. Goomba, hey Goomba, hey, what are you gonna do? So like the bad guys, you got Italian plumbers, and the bad guys are Goombas. I don't care how many Goomba Dago Wops come out of the woodwork, Johnny Fontaine never gets that part. Anyway, so I wonder if the creators, Miyamoto or whatever his name is, watched The Godfather and figured out how to name Italian, they call their bad guys Goombas, whatever. Anyway, so you got those, you got Toad is actually in it, and he could not look any different from the video game Toad. It's almost comical. I'll try and put a picture up. You got some of the more subtle appearances. You got Bullet Bill, you got the bombs, you got all that good stuff. But then you got like Big Bertha, which as a kid I didn't recognize that. I didn't put two and two together. But Big Bertha is the fish. I think she made her first appearance like in Mario 3, in World 3, like one of the water levels. It's the big red fish at the bottom that kind of, if you fall in the water, she kind of like chases you, and it's a one-hit kill if she gets you. But in the movie, she's in the disco, the boom boom bar, whatever it's called. She's in there, and she's a very corpulent woman. I think, as one of the like Spike says, of just very round, as John Leguizamo would say in the film. So you got this very corpulent, round woman in like bright red, and just briefly, one of them says, "Aha, Big Bertha at the Boom Boom Bar." So it's like, oh shit, like that's Big Bertha. That's the giant fish from, you know, Mario 3. So things like that are really, really cool. Now, here's where it kind of blurs. Like, you're expecting, when you see Super Mario Brothers, as a kid, we were all expecting there to be, like, you know, the green pipes, you know, that you go down, the fire flowers, and, you know, like, the mushrooms that make you like grow or give you a one-up or whatever. Even though there's one scene briefly, it's like literally 2 seconds at the end of the movie, where Mario does grow when he's fighting King Koopa at the end. But like, so you're not going to see like the green tubes or anything, but instead of having like those green tubes that you go through in the game, you're like in a sewage tunnel underneath Manhattan that they go through to teleport to like a different world, which that's what the game is, you know? So it does hold, to everyone out there who says like, oh, it's absolutely nothing like the game. That's not true. It actually, they tried to make the game into like sort of a real world type, you know, scenario, which is just ridiculous. But again, it's over the top. It's flawed beyond belief, but something about it is, I find so charming, and I enjoy it so much. The Brooklyn accents are like so over the top, you know. I'm one to talk, you know. You can see my hands are constantly flailing all over the place. I mean, what are you gonna do? But they're really bad, you know. And you got like these like Italian guys in suits who are like, you know, like union delegates trying to destroy the dinosaur site. It's just, it's so like, I don't even know if it's racially insensitive towards Italian being one, but I find it great. I love it. I mean, it's just funny watching what I guess the rest of the world thinks of as Italians. You know, we're a bunch of goombas who just want to. I'm not even going to go there. I decided I'm going to change my mind. Let's stay away from all that. Let's take race out of Mario. We don't, you know, we're not all plumbers from Brooklyn. This movie is definitely meme worthy. I mean, I'm sure there are a ton of them out there. You know, there are clips now that are iconic. Dennis Hopper with the monkey, or, you know, Trust the Fungus. It's, you know, it's such a friggin' disaster of like an attempt. I'm sure they went into this with the best of intentions. By that I mean trying to sell parents, you know, something that their kids are gonna cry until they get, and they definitely succeeded in doing that. But I'm sad that this movie didn't do so well. I mean, I even my friends as a kid loved this movie. I don't remember anybody hating it up until like recently, where people look back at it and they're like, "Oh, that movie was so terrible." But you know what? There were a lot of terrible movies that I still find enjoyable. And I really do. I'm a fan of like these video game movies from the 90s. I'm not going to get into it, but Street Fighter with like, you know, Raul Julia as M. Bison, that is an amazing role. I mean, he just destroys that role as M. Bison. Mortal Kombat is still a great movie. These movies catch a lot of flack nowadays, but you know, I think that people go into them with too high expectations, and that's the problem. People are expecting, you know, the movie to be like an 8-bit almost, like look like the actual game and have all the make the characters look the same, which Mortal Kombat does very well and Street Fighter does too well. But I kind of respect Mario's decision to kind of take like a cartoonish world and replace it with like a dystopian, you know, apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic Earth. It's kind of like Blade Runner or Mad Max or something meets Super Mario Brothers, and it's really cool. So if you can, I would check it out. I mean, definitely, and especially today because it's Mario Day. You know, we should be celebrating something that really has been with us. It's almost like it's like a cousin. I mean, Mario is still pumping shit out. I mean, and like as a kid, it was awesome. It was everything. And even today, you know, there's still I watch like some of like my nephews and you know, they're still playing Mario games on their whatever the hell the new one is, a Switch or whatever. They're still playing Mario games. It's really is a phenomenon in its own right. And you know, I think that there should be a day celebrating, you know, everything Mario. But check this movie out. Watch it today. You'll odds are you'll hate it, but give it a decent shot. Don't go into it expecting too much and appreciate it for what it is. A flick that had the best of intentions but went horribly awry somewhere, and just enjoy the disaster of it all. It's really fun. It's a good time. Check it out and just trust the fungus.
Give me that Devo gun!
What is this?
Monkey!